This point onward, we would like to have a pitch session. The first speaker is Archimed associate Atsushi Mitani. Please welcome him with nice rounds of applause. Thank you for this opportunity, which I treasure very much. My name is Mitani. I'm from Archimed. Archimed is a private fund focusing on healthcare. I would like to introduce to you my company using this opportunity. Thank you. So this slide shows the outline of Archimed. Archimed is aiming to make a contribution by improving the clinical experience of patients. So we see impact investment as a very important element. Archimed focuses on Archimed is a private fund focusing on healthcare, and AUM is 1.2 trillion yen, which is the largest, one of the largest in the world. And basically, we look at companies that have excellent technologies and generating profit. And care, apart from care provider business, we invest on pharmaceuticals and the medical equipment related companies. And investment size is usually between 1.5 billion yen and 150 billion yen. But of course, it doesn't have to be strictly in this range. And we are also a business partner, not only investment fund. And about 140 members we have in the investment team, and 1/3 of them were the management of healthcare companies or were management of the healthcare companies. And 1/3 has a PhD. And because of this diverse team, we are able to make a high-quality judgment with regards to the investees. And after making investment, these people, these members of the investment team, work at a forefront. And the last characteristic is because we are a global fund. It's headquartered at Lyon, France, and has offices in New York, Tokyo, Singapore. And we have invested, or the investment team it consists of people of 30 different nationalities. And we have a footprint across 30 countries already. So this slide shows our mission in Japan. Japan is quite well known as a healthcare major power. However, many companies are having a tough time entering into global markets. But Archimed acknowledges the fact that many Japanese healthcare companies have excellent capabilities, but they are not able to venture into the global market. So cultural impediments and other impediments, and because most of the employees are Japanese, they lack talents, and sometimes they are not even aware how their technologies are superb, and they become obsolete. But Archimed, in order to solve those problems, a global team, Tokyo team, and the portfolio team work together to solve those issues. So this is my last slide. This shows our track record in Japan. not only direct investment, but partnership based activities we are also conducting in order to provide optimum solutions. Nihon Koden is a famous medical equipment company, and AdTech, which is a U.S. Company in our portfolio, and we are setting up a joint venture. Nihon Koden is very strong in the brain wave, and AdTech has superb technology related to epilepsy patients. And we have already built excellent relationship with AdTech. Based upon that, we are helping Nihon Koden to build an excellent relation with AdTech. So we are investment fund partner, and we would like to create impact by helping the companies with excellent technologies. Thank you very much.
Mitani-san, thank you. Send him off with a round of applause. Next, Capstone Japan Limited, APAC Client Solutions Officer, Mr. Riza Okada. Riza Okada, please welcome him. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedules to attend this session where I will be presenting on our firm. I'm a Japan representative for Capstone Investment Advisors. Japanese branch is what I head up. Last year, we set up a new office in Tokyo as a branch to cover Japan's market. We have been making entry into the Japanese market in earnest. We are a global asset manager, and our objective is to provide the highest technology-based asset management strategies and techniques to Japanese investors. And here's the outline. Asset managers, as you know, there are many of them out there. As far as Capstone is concerned, in a nutshell, we specialize in derivatives as an asset manager. 2004, we were founded. 2007, diverse regions in the world and in diverse asset classes around the world, we established a derivative dedicated platform with that vision in place. We have been receiving funds from investors to invest on their behalf. And our AUM is $11.5 billion. And the number of employees, 330 or over. We're situated in downtown New York, close to Ground Zero. We have headquarters there, and we have 11 offices around the world. As is noted on lower left, New York and Tokyo, in those locations, a Global Volatility Summit is convened. We are a founding member for that. New York GVS marked its 15th anniversary last year. So a risk market specialists and risk managers gather at GVS here in Tokyo. Since 2019, every year, GVS has been convened. And last year as well, it was attended by over 100 Japanese institutional investors. If you're interested, please visit GVS website. Yeah, as is on the left-hand side, we've had multi-strategy, hedge fund strategies, as well as dispersion strategy, risk recycling. There are lots of loaned words from the English language. Yes, sorry, but we've had unique strategies. And with respect to multi-strategies, uncorrelated to equity market, return uncorrelated to equity market. That's our style. We have 25 trading teams. We're a collection of 25 trading teams within our firm. We have a dedicated headhunting team, recruiting team. From 2020 and onward, more than 5,000 derivative experts we have interviewed, and out of that, we have hired 45 out of them. The rate of recruiting is less than 1%. Of course, we focus on the quality of asset management and correlation with existing strategies, cultural fit. We make no compromise in our asset management business. On the right-hand side, it says customized solutions. These started in 2010. In a nutshell, through derivatives, we provide solutions to meet the challenges of our investors, our clients. Now, please have a look at the left-hand side pie chart. This is characteristic. Our AUM is 11.5 billion. 90% are pension funds, so institutional investors, corporate pension funds, and others. So in the case of hedge funds, lots of funds and high net worth individuals, but we have direct meetings with end institutional investors. And if it's Japanese, we would use Japanese material to explain, and a Japanese speaker to explain to them. And I'm sorry again for lots of katakanas or loaned words. Rather than explaining each and every one of the strategy, it's been 1.5 years since I joined Capstone myself. We are visiting our customers, taking time, and frequently asked question is, why Capstone? So for that question, I think there are 2 reasons we can offer. Reason number 1 is a commitment that we have to Japan. I'm preaching the choir here, but our Japanese market is quite unique. Its culture, its business practices are unique. Just providing service is not enough. It takes time. So Paul Britton, our founder, has a strong commitment to Japan, and I wanted to, of course, reaffirm that myself. And there are strengths that we offer that others cannot offer. And I may be repeating, but we are a derivative specialist. We've been specializing in derivative for the past 2 decades. Our AUM is growing successfully. So risk that's associated with the derivatives as well as infrastructure that's needed, we've been investing in that for 20 years, which is important. So I rushed through. But once again, thank you very much for taking time to listen to my presentation. Thank you. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you very much, Okada-san. Next, Eurazeo Global Investor Venture Managing Director, Mr. Albert Shai. Please welcome him with great applause.
I apologize for speaking in English for this presentation. I'm here as a replacement for my colleague in Tokyo who unfortunately had a business trip today. So my name is Albert Shi. I'm a managing director based in Singapore with Eurazeo. So we are a global asset management company, one of the leading companies in Europe focusing on the investments into the private markets. And we do this so across 3 main asset classes: private equity, private debt, and real estate. Collectively, we manage more than 35 billion in assets. Our company's legacy has been for over 50 years making investments into private companies. Our company actually goes back even further than that to the 1870s from the start of the business as well. We invest into 5 main sectors across all of our asset classes, as you can see here. And I think one of our differentiating factors is we can invest throughout the entire life cycle of a company, from seed investments, early stage venture capital, to pre-IPO growth rounds, and we can also provide alternative financing in the form of private debt to companies where it's appropriate. We are a public company listed in Paris in Euronext, which is where our headquarters is. And we are supported by a series of long-term stable shareholders as well. We have two co-CEOs, William and Christophe, who lead the company. Christophe was in Tokyo last year, actually, to help commemorate the office opening that we had here in Japan. And he'll likely be back later this year as well. We have over 400 employees within the company, 160 of which are on the investment side across, again, the various different asset classes. We have a network of more than 100 external senior advisors as well, who lend us their expertise across different domains, markets, and sectors. And we are operating across 13 offices globally right now. Currently, as I mentioned, we have three main asset classes, the bulk of which is in private equity and venture capital. We also have a pretty fast-growing private debt group as well. And the vast majority of our funds are being raised under Article 8 or Article 9 with a very strong focus on ESG and impact right now as well. Just double-clicking a little bit more within Asia. So Tokyo office, which we opened last year, was our newest office. We currently, as I mentioned, have 4 in Asia, in Seoul, Shanghai, and Singapore as well. These offices are focusing primarily on 2 activities. One is investor relations, and the other is venture capital. So between the 2, we collaborate closely across offices and also with our offices in Europe and other parts of the world, which allow us to support some of our various portfolio companies as they also think about expanding into various parts of this region. Within Asia, we have 2 funds which are actively investing. One is a climate tech fund based in Paris, but investing globally, including in China, India, Southeast Asia. This fund invests mostly into Series A stage rounds across a variety of different climate-related sectors. Lastly, we have a fund that's focusing more on insurtech and fintech, also investing globally, but primarily in Asia. We have a large investor, insurance company, as the investor behind this fund, and we've been actively looking for opportunities across Asia, including in Japan here. So I'd like to wrap up this presentation. Thank you for your time. I think we're still new to Japan, but we're looking forward very much to deepening our presence here and looking for partners that we can work with. Thank you very much.
アルバート様ありがとうございました。
Mr. Albert, thank you very much. Send him off with a round of applause.
続きまして、フィエラキャピタル
From Fiera Capital Asia, Japan representative and managing director, Mr. C.G. Morrow. Please welcome him with a round of applause. Good afternoon, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Late in the afternoon on a Friday. Thank you for listening to me. I'm switching to English because the presentation is in English.
That Aritomo-san's previous panel talked about. Let me see if I can get this to work. Yeah, here we go. Sorry. And again, referring back to that last panel, where we discussed private or public, we don't believe there should be a discussion private or public. We think investment should be about finding diversified sources of alpha in both the public and the private markets. So we have a multi-asset management business. We're based in Montreal. We have offices all over the world, Toronto, London. We've recently opened in Tokyo, in Abu Dhabi. And we manage about $122 billion of funds under management. What's important to us, as I said, is not public or private, but we want to deliver our clients steady, diversified streams of alpha in both the public markets and the private markets. So in the public market space, 98% of our strategies have outperformed their benchmark over 5 years. And in the private market space, we've been awarded a number of awards over the years. And we're very proud to be able to offer both types of investment opportunity. So that gives you just a rough breakdown of our assets under management. So 120 billion divided into public and private. It's about 100 billion in publics, half of which is in equity strategies. We have what I would describe as niche alpha generating equity strategies, emerging markets, Canadian equities, concentrated global amongst some of our strategies in the equity space. And then on the right-hand side, we have our public markets, our private markets business, which is currently about $15 billion. And going back again to some of the discussions this afternoon, where institutions here in Japan are looking for 5% yen returns, that's really the sorts of returns that our private market businesses are focused on. So 5% in yen, 9 to 10% in dollars. And these teams have all come from the Canadian pension plans. So we saw the slide earlier, whether it's OMAs or CDBQ, PSP. So our teams have been in the Canadian pension fund industry. They've run large funds in these different categories, and they now run funds at Fiera Capital. And they bring that Canadian mindset to investment, long-term, low leverage, open-ended infrastructure. So all of our private markets are open-ended, which means when you make an investment, you understand precisely what it is you're buying. There is no sort of long duration drawdown. The J-curve effect is very, very short. And these funds are all trying to generate steady, sustainable returns of somewhere between 9 and 12%. And many of these funds, particularly in the real estate credit space, are producing income of 7 or 8%. We believe these types of vehicles, open-ended, long-term, and stable income-producing vehicles, are the sorts of vehicles that will appeal to the Japanese investor base. I used to live in Japan. I witnessed the first bull market here. I believe I've returned in time for the next bull market. I completely agree with Mr. Cole's views at the beginning of our session today that now is a very exciting time to be in Japan. We at Fiera Capital are very excited to be here. I'm very excited to be back, and we think these types of diversified alpha streams will be of appeal. So thank you very much. I want to thank in particular the team at FinCity. You've made me feel welcome. You've made my transition back to London, from London back to Tokyo, much easier. Thank you for all your support. Thank you, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government, for your support. And very nice to have this opportunity to speak to you today. Thank you.
モレル様ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much. Please send him off with a round of applause.
続きまして
Next, from Pangea Ventures, the director in charge of Asia, Sayuri Nonaka. Please welcome her with rounds of applause. Thank you for your kind introduction. from Panja Capital or Panja Ventures, which is a venture capital. I'm a director in charge of Asia. I would like to give you a brief overview of our company today. So this is the company overview. There are 3 points. One, we have 25 years of history. 25 years compared with other financial institutions, it may be short, but as a venture capital, it's rather long. And a fund of 5, we are now investing. And also, the scope of investment is hard tech, which may not be easy to understand. It's close to deep tech, but software. So deep tech minus software elements. And point number 3 is we have offices in 3 locations: the U.S. and Canada. In U.S. and Canada, we did business for over 20 years. And in March of last year, we opened an office in Japan. And going forward, we will strengthen the business in Japan. Hard tech, I said. To be more specific, there are 3 sectors. One is climate tech, so to speak, but CO2 absorption technology to semiconductor materials. So it's very broad range. And the second sector is food and water related, and the third is healthcare related technologies. So one of our unique points is strong tie with Japan. The investors, LPs who invest in our funds, about half of them are Japanese corporations. So Fund 5, we are recruiting, but since Fund 2, the Japanese corporations have been investing in our funds, so we have a long-term relationship with them. Next fund, Fund 6, will be launched by the end of this year. And for the first time, we will be investing in Japan. Why Japan? And why now? So the one factor is the market, the momentum. In the past 10 years, the investment in startups increased tenfold. So there is a strong momentum right now. Next, the Japanese government, Tokyo Metropolitan Government, and the private sector are supporting startups by implementing various measures and visions. Supported by that, the startup market is expected to further expand. And also, in our perspective, the Japanese startups with excellent technologies, there are many such companies, but regarding valuations, compared with the Western countries, particularly compared with the U.S., they are undervalued, which is very attractive to us. So, to be more specific, what kind of startups that we want to invest? Hard tech startups, particularly the companies which have potentialities to expand their business globally, capitalizing on our North American network. Because we have partners and we can provide HR support and the fundraising in North America. We have many co-investors, so capitalizing on investor network, we can enable fundraising in overseas market, and eventually at the exit, the M&A and IPO outside Japan will become possible. So we can provide different type of exit scenarios. TMG has been supporting us to enter into Japan. And we will support Japanese startups to entering into overseas market. Or the other way around. For example, CO2 absorption technology, rare metal recycling technology. The companies with those technologies are very much wanted in Japan, and such overseas companies are considering to enter Japanese market. And the innovation hub in and out of Japan, we would like to connect. And startup ecosystem, we would like to diversify in order to make it more attractive, in order to attract overseas investors. So I think we can help that. So this concludes my presentation. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ms. Nonaka. Please give her nice rounds of applause.
以上をもちまして
With this, we conclude the pitch session.